first item on tonight's agenda is item number 29. It's a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Works, City Engineer, to enter into a maintenance agreement with Wisconsin Department of Transportation to address maintenance responsibilities for context-sensitive solutions, CSS, features proposed as part of the Zoo Interchange project along Greenfield Avenue, South 59th, and a new berm constructed between I-894 northbound off-ramp and 98th Street, including a decorative retaining wall, city emblems, trees, shrubs, perennials, uplighting, and traffic signal cabinet artwork. I will turn it over to our city engineer. Mike?
Okay, this has been worked out by Alderman May with the DOT. Everybody knows the Dirt Hill, Conrad Hill, or whatever is named, the mountain.
Conrad.
And what this will, the DOT will be installing for us a decorative type of retaining wall just on the edge of Greenfield. So we're looking at a very small portion that the city will be taking over in the way of any type of planting, maintenance there, landscaping. Again, the DOT is going to be putting in initially the plantings, of course the retaining wall. We've also got some other items that might be included in here. There's a decorative type of emblem that they are looking at. I forget what else they might be doing over there.
They already have started. They put in trees and it's all now covered.
Yeah,
and
now, but they haven't done anything related
No,
to this
not to
agreement
this.
yet. No,
Right.
you saw all of that. So again, I think when it comes to, I mean, for us as Public Works, we might run out there and cut the grass every once in a while. Hopefully, we won't be replanting a whole lot of trees that they'll live. There'll be some flowers out there, okay. I believe that John has offered funding through a couple of his sources regarding if we expand anything else. Again, the emblem. There's also some discussion because it will be the boxes for the traffic signals will be there too. Painting those up. There's been even some suggestions of artwork on those boxes, whatever. So I think it'll dress up that area. You know, unfortunately, we got some relatively bad publicity on something that we didn't have anything to do with.
Right.
In fact, we didn't even know they were doing it until they started to build it. Then they accused us of not seeing on the plans when the plans for that project are like this. And I can tell you, we did not look at every single plan, every single inch of those plans over there to find this humongous thing that they started to build on. So I think the DOT has cooperated a lot. I know Mike has done a lot of work on it there too.
So
It'll be good.
what you're saying, the only money it's going to cost is John's going to come up with, or is looking to come up
John is looking to come up with this.
with? Move for approval.
Other than the maintenance that Public Works will be doing.
Right.
Yearly.
Is that our sidewalk to shovel?
Move for approval.
Yeah, I believe we do.
Yeah, we do
Second.
the.
Because the DOT, I mean, the DOT won't shovel it.
No.
So I'm sorry.
The motion was made by Alderman Chaplowski, seconded by Alderman Ranky. With that, is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Rote.
originally about a year ago, this started out, we all kind of were led to believe that this was just going to be a temporary deposit for dirt, right? That's just kind of grew. I mean, I guess you're kind of admitting, and I'm not
I think we
blaming.
assumed
I think
that.
it was
Right.
assumed that, but we didn't.
We were
had
never
to find
told
out
that.
ourselves that all of a sudden.
Right,
they
that
had
it
to-
just kind of grew.
And frankly, I don't know what. There's three things that could have happened out there. There could have been absolutely nothing done, and there'd be noise problem there. They could be looking at what I consider some pretty ugly sound walls along there, or this berm, which will look. I think when it gets green and gets going, will look good, and will actually still continue as a sound barrier. So I don't know if it was the worst thing that ever happened to us, Alice.
Not once it's covered. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Number 30 on tonight's agenda. Resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works City Engineer to enter into an agreement with Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewer District, MMSD, to receive funding through their Green Solutions for separate infrastructure and sewer separation. Funding in the amount of $99,622 for the installation of green infrastructures in the proposed chalet parking lot. Mike?
Yeah, as everybody knows, we are in the process of building a parking lot in the old chalet building. MMSD's got a program regarding green infrastructure type of things, and when it comes to underground retention ponds, those pervious bricks.
Is that what
and
they
that
had
type of
by
stuff.
Roosevelt, that one group was proposing a few years back?
I kind of believe so. I'm not.
Where it
Yeah,
goes
they
through
were
the
talking
sand
about
and
that.
goes
Yeah,
through
no,
all that?
yeah,
Yeah.
very very similar to that, and if not exactly like that. So MMSD has got a program of about $100,000 for each municipality to try this. I mean, we're basically getting almost every nickel of that in order to accomplish something that will give MMSD some credit on their DNR permit regarding getting the stormwater on, and also more importantly, giving us a credit for getting the stormwater.
Move for approval.
in. So,
Who
Second.
did that?
Was that Mickey?
Mickey,
Moved by Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Weigel. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, quick,
Yeah,
que-
Alderman Weigel?
quick question, Mike. Pervious pavers, they can't just be swept, they need to be vacked, and our equipment's,
Yeah,
our
we've got
equipment's
vac.
up to that, so it's not gonna, we're not expecting any differential in maintenance costs on it.
no, my big fear, and I don't know, maybe we'll just put a sign here, is that you can't use sand. I mean, we can't use a sand salt mix like we
Right.
use and everything, because that sand will plug
Plug up the
those.
cores.
And then I'm not aware of any effective system to get that out of there other than redoing it. So,
so it's just gonna be used for a parking lot?
yes. That's the long range, that plan in that regard has been there for a long time.
That'll support those businesses in that neighborhood there.
In the church.
That's a lot of money for a parking lot.
Well, the total
Costing more
parking
than
lot,
that.
yeah,
It's more
the
than that.
total parking
That's
lot,
just to
Alderman,
drain it.
yeah,
that's-
is about
yeah.
$240,000 to build that parking lot. The remaining monies is coming through CDBG.
Oh, I see.
And this is just,
Thank you.
yeah, 'cause
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 31, resolution authorizing the Director of
move
Public
for
Works.
approval.
Second,
Moved by Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Ranky, because you were just a little closer and I thought louder. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? Oh,
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I just wanna say, this is, just because it's our fault, it's one of those laterals, it's our fault.
Well, I don't know if we're at fault, but we're responsible for the connection.
It's at the
The connection, right.
I wouldn't say we're at fault.
and there's a
Okay.
perfect example, because it's $8,100.
Yeah, wait till the next one.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 32, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works, City Engineer to pay for sanitary lateral repairs at 1366 South 57th Street, total amount of $32,369.
You had one of these before.
It was a deep one.
20, is that the 20-foot main or
20
something?
something down there, and of course, we had to chase it, or the contractor had to chase it around. We couldn't get lucky enough and find it right. And when you're that deep down, I mean, even having to move a foot or two on either side is a job.
And this could have been a perfect example. If this thing would have been
Yes,
3
this is-
feet the other direction, that person would have been paying $32,000.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, oh,
So this is that rehabilitation where they, the blow in the sock with the resin in it? This isn't a dig up?
No,
and-
we had to dig. This one was, both of these were completely collapsed.
Okay, so these were dig up and replaced with brand new PVC?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering how they got so expensive, if this was the, what we talk about, the typical, what's being described as the typical.
And remember, this
rehabilitation.
is only at the line, only at the T. So we did not replace the whole line going to
Oh.
the house or anything else. It was just right there at the T, at the connection.
That's all this was?
Oh, my God.
$32,000.
Because it's so
Yes.
deep, yeah.
Yep.
We had another one like this not too long
Use
ago.
that for an example.
Right on it, 1400
much.
57th Street.
Pretty
Buy a
much.
house on 57th Street, watch out.
Not really, because they didn't want,
Yeah.
different show.
Looking for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Ranky, second by Alderman Rote. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Did you see 33?
Yeah, and now we have.
Is that what this is? All right.
Yep.
Number 33, communication, from the Director of Public Works, City Engineer, regarding a request to move a portion of a sidewalk at 3020/22 South 82nd Street.
If you notice area, I mean, there's sidewalk here, there's sidewalk not over there, or whatever.
Vaguely.
The renter, I assume on the behalf of the owner, since somebody's gonna have to pay for it, is asking to remove that northern section of sidewalk, probably about 35 feet north of the driveway. They claim for some reason that they're getting tickets from the police, and I saw this today when I rode by there, that they are parking their car across the sidewalk in their driveway. And maybe they have gotten tickets before, maybe they haven't, I have no idea. I did not check on it.
And it's a sidewalk that goes nowhere.
Yes, nowhere, and it doesn't have much of a chance to connecting up to anything in the immediate
Because the other house is right there.
next, yeah.
So they want to remove what, right here?
Just the part north of the alley, yeah, just that little,
Right here.
from their driveway over is what they're asking for.
And gonna put grass in there and just,
Yeah, they have to put, they
Are
put
you-
grass in.
you've got a little possession, are you gonna cut a sidewalk this way?
Oh, no, that's my, on the, Google
That's the-
search.
that's the street
That's
view
the
guy.
little street guy
it.
that comes in.
Alright.
I'm not good enough to be able to take that out of there.
Looking for a, and this is, what you're, this is just a
Move for
communication.
approval.
Yeah, I'm looking for approval to tell them
And
to
it's
go
on
out there
the
and do
owner.
it.
Second.
Yeah, they gotta pay for it.
They gotta pay for it, okay.
So
Who
I'm
did
sorry.
the motion, was that
I did.
Mick,
Alderman Chapletsky, seconded by Alderman Ranky, any further discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Twenty-one. This is the baseball diamond coming back,
I
resolution
mean,
regarding,
54, I mean 34.
okay, I see it. It's got both
Oh.
numbers on here, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make a
Number
motion to place this on file.
34. Motions to place on file?
Second.
We just, after thinking about it, we're gonna have the police department go in there carding kids to see if they're over 15 years old, and then are we gonna require the kids to have an ID then, or? So I think it's just waste of time.
Place on file.
Don't have
Who
to add.
seconded it? I'm sorry.
I have,
make
moved
a
by
motion.
Alderman Chapletsky, seconded by Alderman Weigel.
We want kids to play this.
Yep.
Yes.
And they don't need it to vote, so they don't need an ID, I guess. With that, it's, the place on file, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number, you wanna hold, or is this something that's really old?
This is a-
35?
That's the Parks and Open Spaces
That's a new one.
communication from the mayor.
That
It
really-
was
is the
held a couple
communication?
days. What it does?
What is it about?
Probably about a month or so ago, the mayor has proposed a program in order to update the parks and open spaces to use a certain portion of money that, I believe they're gonna be getting through
Fire
a
money.
loan,
Oh.
fire
Mhm.
money in there.
Oh,
And he wants to use basically half of that interest money coming back, probably about $600,000 over 7-8 years, to upgrade the parks and ball fields and diamonds and whatnot there.
some of the discussion that I had on was with Alderman May was like Reservoir Park. That equipment was put in and it's rusted, it's broken, it needs to be replaced, it's pretty bad. And this would not only cover there, it would cover many other parks in the area.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Alderman.
I think there's a need for this. I mean, did everybody see the CIVMIC report on the state of our, you know, so, it's not a permanent funding source, obviously, you know, cause it's just for the length of this loan. And it's not all the money all the interest that we're getting from this. So I guess it is a way for us to kind of clean up some loose ends and do some maintenance that's needed on some of our park facilities. So.
I have no idea why he had the word hold on there.
Well, he introduced that, and I'm not sure if anybody had a chance to read it at that time, and there was some discussion, and the mayor and I just, it gave everybody a chance to think about it and look at it, so we held it. It wasn't anything that we needed to pass immediately, this wasn't a life or death issue.
Do we wanna
But he
hold
did
it 2
ask to
weeks
put-
yet?
But he did ask to put it back on the agenda, but it's up to
I'd like to keep it on hold and have the mayor talk to us about it.
Fine with me?
Finally?
Place on hold.
I just wanna,
No, you
I
don't-
wanna
you
know
don't have to
what
do
the
anything.
Yeah.
big picture
Flip it
is.
over.
We're spending a lot of money here, so.
Did we get a copy of it? Of the,
I don't remember getting a copy of
I
it.
think it's available online.
But I can,
Yeah.
I will be more than
you
happy to
look up-
email
click
to
on these
everybody a
I saw
copy
it
of it if
When
you wanna
read
get
the
it that
agenda,
way.
Right.
or to hear
I
what
didn't
the
get a
plan
chance
is
to-
about?
Right, so it's gonna hold number 35.
Okay.
We'll get that out.
36, communication from the project engineer regarding the deterioration of
hold
Ri-
That could
River
be held.
Parkway
Yeah.
pedestrian path.
So we're holding
Gets
this.
held too.
No
We're
news.
holding it,
Holding that too.
because I wasn't here
about
last
28?
week, could I give my input on this?
Sure.
All right,
Absolutely, it's on the agenda, you may talk.
Thank you. Anyway, I'll start in the beginning. Basically, I lived in the proximity of the Parkway for at least 29 years, and in these
Okay.
29 years, the park itself has deteriorating conditions. The creek is full of debris, the creek is full of large trees, the creek is full of silt that doesn't allow the water to move very swiftly. The bridge was never replaced, that was by Parkway School. Every year, the county has taken less responsibility. I commend my partner for his looking into the pedestrian path. Even though I haven't received one call on this, and usually when people are very adamant about cleaning up something, they have a petition that's organized. I haven't received a petition to that effect. The conditions, as he had indicated, I think last meeting, the city portion of the pathway is fine. If you've been out there, you will notice that. It's in fairly good condition, and the city, West Allis, maintains the trees and the brush. And I have to say, the city portion is fine, and then the county portion drops down into a mud path. And it's very low, it probably would have to be filled up. To me, the stone isn't the answer, because it needs an asphalt path, because the stone eventually washes away. There's no stone at all right now, where I know the city had put stone there years ago. Also, besides the stone, they wanted to put riprap, and initially our supervisor, our county supervisor, basically didn't want to pursue that because the engineers couldn't come to some agreement, as I understand. And now he has indicated possibly he would pursue getting money for this. I can't see the county board approving $10,000 for this particular path at this time. Money is short all over, but the stone itself, I think, would be a Band-Aid treatment. $3,000 is a lot to pay for stone. And then an additional $3,000 it would be for the riprap that the engineers can't seem to agree on, as far as they feel that the flooding would basically filtrate into the homes. My feeling on this is there should be funding available. There should be grants available. I just was at a conference, and I attended a session where there are grants available from I don't know if it's Wisconsin grants for parks. I would like us basically to look into other funding besides taxing our taken away from our residents themselves. There must be a way to get the funding to complete this path. The path is used, from what I understand, extensively by the people in the Orchard Hills area. I spoke to a gentleman on Sunday, and most of you have received his letter. He indicated that the supervisor wasn't too much of a support for this, he would seek out the funding, but his demeanor was such that he didn't hold out much hope that we would get the funding from the county. So all of you received a letter, and I have to thank my, again, my partner for sending you the letter that he had written on our behalf, because he felt strongly that the path should be maintained, and it is an asset to that particular area. So I'm probably going out on a limb, but I would like to table this request until we find a possible funding source.
We said that in the very beginning.
Yes.
We're holding it.
Yes, I know.
Okay. It's being tabled.
Yes, so, a grant, the county and the city cooperating and sharing to get the money, that would be also a possibility. But we need funding for this little path that it seems to be very important to
We
this.
look forward to you finding that and getting back to us.
Okay, all right.
Alderman
I
Rhodes?
just, and I'll be brief, I don't think we should be looking for funding for a county problem.
Well, the county has, basically,
Not our problem.
would wash their hands of it, so, I mean, if we can find funding,
They can find it too.
statewise, I think it behooves us to do something like that.
And they can take that, what, we have to have a permit for $100 or something to go in there?
We don't know what the permit fee is. It was suggested is, but we have not been told.
Well, nothing will be done if there's any kind of permit fee. They can take that and
We told
wipe
them.
their royal butt with it.
Exactly. It isn't fair to us. So, thank you,
Anything?
gentlemen.
Did you want to add to that, or?
No, I don't have anything to add at this time. I
After
certainly
that.
understand the thoughts. I guess I do have something to add. Thanks for the
Yeah,
opportunity.
absolutely.
And just my concern is that it needs to get done. How it gets done. I'm glad that we're taking action about it or doing something about it on our council level. And I agree with Alderperson Reinke. We need to find some source. It needs to happen. It needs to get fixed.
With that, that'll be the end of Public Works. We'll turn the meeting over to Alderman Michael Chaplesky, Chairman of License and Health. Alderman Chaplesky.
28.
Call the meeting to order.
Okay. I didn't know.
Uh,
Sorry. I didn't know.
First thing we have is item number 41. This is to amend,
Snow emergency.
an ordinance to amend our dangerous dog code. And basically what it is that currently for anyone to appeal it, it's $25. We're upping it to 50.
Move approval.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, and that was non-refundable, right? It's,
Non-refundable.
Okay.
That's what it costs if you want to appeal
Right.
it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Then we have number 42 and 43. These are various license subjects.
44?
Pardon me? Did I hear it? Just 42 and 43.
Sorry. Move for approval subject to necessary requirements. Mr.
Second.
Chair.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have 44 and 45.
Move approval subject to necessary requirements.
On 44 and then just approval on 45?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. 46 is appointment of a new agent for, let's see, Buffalo Wings.
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And then we have, let's see, bartender's license for 47.
Move for approval.
Mr. Chair, I'll second, whoever.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we have the police reports to place on file.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That is all. And we do have a meeting on Tuesday.
Yes,
Do we have to pack a lunch? It's gonna be a long one.
that'll be all right.